Pleasure to be here. And to the trustees, all the fellow students, my fellow speakers. Do you believe in serendipity? So all of the key words is part of my presentation. All of your key words and some of the student speakers, and we'll cover it. I'm going to talk about Ikigai today. Yeah, so I think we are set up. So we'll start a small exercise. Question number 1. How many of you do something every day that makes you feel truly alive? Something that ignites your passion? Please stand up. Okay, next question. What's the hardest thing you embrace today that helps you grow? Do you do learning on an everyday basis? The next question. How many of you believe that solving big problems, no matter how small, can create real impact in the world? Keep standing. Yes. And the final question. Finally, do you believe your work not only fuels your purpose, but also creates a steady value income? Right? So to the 8-10 people, you've truly found your Ikigai. Please sit down. So this really explains what Ikigai is. I'm going to talk about Ikigai and how can you incorporate it in your daily lives. Before that, I'm going to add a little bit of humor. We had some serious sessions in the morning, made me a bit emotional. So let's appreciation. Traveling. Someone said traveling. Okay. Who said that? She gets a chocolate. That's the answer. So the answer is when society hears your voice. That's what really makes a woman happy. What makes a man happy from a mental health point of view? Motorcycle, sleep. I don't think so, but yeah. Anyone else? Yeah, who said that? Yeah, she gets a chocolate. So for a woman, the society must hear a voice. For a man, he must hang out with his friends 2 times a week. Once it should be for sport. Do you know the number 1 sport for longevity in the world? So tennis is the number 1 sport. So if you cannot play tennis, play any racquetball sport. So what makes a woman happy in a utopian world? So from a utopian world, what makes a woman truly happy is that her man has no vice and no voice. Right? But that doesn't happen. In reality, you ask the men around here. And what makes a man happy in a utopian world? Come on, this is also for the young men out here, I think, specifically for the young men, or even for us. So what makes a young man happy, and I think for men across, even old men, having a conversation with a beautiful woman for 5 minutes. That's what makes a man happy. So we got some humor, I think I'm going to proceed. I didn't want anyone to cry with the presentations earlier. So what is Ikigai? Ikigai, do you know the meaning of Ikigai? Ikigai means? Purpose, having a reason of being. What happens when we don't have a Ikigai? What happens to us when we don't have a reason to wake up? What would happen to us? Despair and mental health problem, going into mental illness. That's what happens when we don't have a Ikigai. Why do men commit suicide more? Anyone can? Pressure, stress. Okay, so I'll add a fun element to it. The average age of women in Ogimi, has anyone heard of Ogimi? It's the number 1 blue zone village in the world. That's where Ikigai comes from. The average age of women in Ogimi is 92. What's the average age of men in Ogimi? No. Lower. It's 85. So why are men dying 9% earlier in the happiest place in the world? Same air, same water, same friends. Oh, maybe you're close. So, yeah, that's the answer. She should get a chocolate. She's been answering so well. I think I should send you a signed copy of my book later. Men do not emote. Hindi film ka dialogue hota hai, mard ko dard nahi hota hai. And that's so untrue. Men cry. When men lose their partners, when the wives die, they die much earlier than women who lose their partners. So men need women and men need friends. Men do not emote. And that's the problem for all the young men in this room. Start emoting. Emoting is very, very important. So just coming back on having a sense of purpose is very, very important. And it can be multiple. It can be personal as well as professional. Any young student, let's ask a young student, what's their Ikigai? Anyone? Get good results in the board. Okay. So Ikigai will keep changing in your different life phases. When you're in school and college, your Ikigai is purely academic, mostly. Then in college, you want to get your degree and work towards getting an income. Then after that, you get a job, and then you want to excel in your job, right? Then you get a boyfriend and girlfriend and you want to excel in that relationship. Then you get married, etc. So ikigai will keep changing in our life, but we must always have a strong sense of ikigai. So I hope ikigai, the term is very clear. It comes from Ogimi. It's the #1 blue zone village in the world. Why ikigai matters? Why do you think ikigai matters for all of us? Why having a sense of purpose is vital? What does it do to our brains? What does it do? When we know what our purpose is, what happens to us? Sense of satisfaction? Our actions align with our values, right? We want to make the world a better place. Do you know anxiety? How many of you suffer from anxiety? And I think all of us suffer from anxiety from different, right? All of us. Do you know anxiety and gratitude come from the same part of your human brain? The more you practice gratitude, the less anxiety you will generate. The more anxiety you think about, the less gratitude. So it's just your choice early morning when you wake up. What do you want to practice? Do you want to practice gratitude? Do you want to practice anxiety? So having a sense of purpose and ikigai makes us strive for excellence. Do you know who's the happiest person in the room, in the world? So I was having a chat with my son and I said, do you know who the happiest person in the world is? He said, no. I said, then I decided to become that. And that's a choice all of us have. Become the happiest person in the world, right? And that's the only way we can live. So ikigai is very, very important for all of you. Please identify that and identify a way of gratitude in life. How many of you have heard of Dalai Lama? Yeah, a lot, right? So do you know Dalai Lama is not a name. It's a term. Okay, so good. So there's a beautiful quote of Dalai Lama that I want to say. You must love what you have and not want what you love. There's a big difference. If you love what you have, you'll be in a happy space. But if you keep wanting what you love, it's never ending, right? In Ogimi, there is no formal retirement age. Okay? So you don't have to retire at 60. If you're a teacher, you could go on till your last day. Why do you think that's important, not having a formal retirement age? What does it do to us? Yes, very important. Keeps you motivated. It's not about money anymore. You're making the world a better place. So the maximum number of people who live to 100 and beyond in this world come from Ogimi. I was there last month. I stayed in Ogimi. I'll talk about it. But they continue working. There's a chef called Jinro Oro, if I remember right. He runs a Michelin restaurant in Tokyo in a subway station. It's a 10-seater. Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Shinzo Abe in 2014 went there for dinner. And he said, at that time he was 91 or whatever. He said, why are you working? He's saying, I wake up in the morning, I go out at 4 a.m. to the famous fish market in Tokyo and buy fish because that's my purpose, to feed you. If I stop doing it, I'll die tomorrow. And his son is now 68, 69. Can you imagine a 99-year-old chef who wakes up every morning at 4? That's how strong the sense of ikigai is for all of them. I think what's important for all of us is making each moment count with purpose, and our actions must align with our values. The 4 circles of ikigai, I think I explained earlier. The first one is what you love doing. The second one is what are you good at. The third one, what do you think the world needs. And finally, what can you be paid for. So I'm going to do a quick one. Let's ask, what is the best trait of a 9-year-old you? You can have a few responses. Was it playfulness? Was it grit? Was it naughtiness? Was it curiosity? Naughtiness.
Being
Frank.
Being stubborn.
Okay, that's good. Stubborn is good. Anger. Anger. What about you, ma'am? 9-year-old. So if you list all of this down, curiosity, being the best, and high energy, being frank, being stubborn, list that down, and probably you were at a 90 on 100 then. And just today, list down the same qualities and see how much you've dropped. And then we wonder why we're not happy. So I always tell people, and I work with a lot of founders, some of them are billionaires, some of them are international sports people, I always say, or CEOs, go back to the 9-year-old version of you and rediscover that passion. When you start doing that on an everyday basis, your ikigai will come closer in life. And if you have a personal and professional issue, put that 9-year-old version of you, and they would give the best answer. The 9-year-old version of you would be more forgiving, he would be more kind, less judgmental, right? And they would, even in a personal issue or a professional issue, try this technique. It works. Why do they say awaken the inner child in you? That's the best version. So all of these, there are 3,000 inhabitants in Ogimi, all of them are childlike. All of them are childlike. They garden, they dance, they play, and they're 90-year-old, 100-year-old, 85-year-old, and they have this beautiful quality of the 9-year-old version. And their lives are proof that purpose increases longevity. All of us want to live long, right? Do you know the average life expectancy in India? Do you know how much is it? 71. So after my talk, we'll add 9 more years. I hope you'll learn some more and we go to 80. Everyone wants to live long and everyone wants to be healthy, right? So Ogami is great. And an affirmation that I always tell people is, I am enough. Start with you are enough. Happiness is always an inside job. It's intrinsic. You cannot get happiness from outside. Money doesn't buy you happiness. Money doesn't buy you relationships. Being the best version of yourself makes you great. The key pillars, I think, very important. These are the things we look in our partners. We look for a curious partner. We look for a resilient partner. Passion is very important. We want passion with our friends. We want passion with our co-teachers, students. Discipline is very important. And contribution to making the world a better place and making you the best version of you, right? I mentioned day zero approach. So have you heard of the samurai? Who was a samurai? Who was a samurai? The noble warrior. So they had a practice of daily meditation in the night, and they would zeroize themselves. They would say, I've achieved zero in my life, and they reset themselves. So when they wake up at 6 in the morning, it's a day zero approach, and that's the best way to live. So day zero approach of samurai. So that's again something that I would encourage you to do. Finding your own ikigai. How many of you journal every day? 1, 2, 3. That speaker who said 10 pages of biology, but you can still journal. Whoever that speaker was, right? I mean, I'm sure you do journal. Journaling. What are the 2 qualities of billionaires in the world? 85% of billionaires in the world are self-made. They don't get money from, they're self-made. What are the 2 top qualities of billionaires? Reading and journaling. Reading and journaling. So they read 50 books a year, non-fiction, and they journal 1 page a day minimum. Journaling defogs your brain. It's great for idea generation, introspection, whatever you want to call it. So please journal. One of my favorite lines about change, I think one of our speakers spoke about change. Nothing changes in your world if nothing changes. You want something to change, you must change, right? And it all begins with us. Mahatma Gandhi said that you want change in the world, become that change. You want to be fitter, change. If you want to eat healthier, start eating healthier. If you want to read, start reading. You cannot let your parents or your partners or your spouses motivate you. Change must come from within. How many of you have read the book Atomic Habits? Wow, I love that. So what's the 1% principle? Can someone tell me? We get a chocolate. So if you make 1% change every day for 365 days, you become 38 times stronger. And if you make 1% worse each day, you go to 0.03%. So it's a huge chasm, 3,800 to 0.03. So the choice is always ours. And the reason why I mentioned this book, it's a great book. I think all students should read it. Atomic Habits is a great book, James Clear. It's very simple, small changes. How many of you like Milan Soman? Well, he's quite a handsome dude, 59. So if you ever see him at an airport and you ask him for a photo, he'll make you do 10 push-ups. Yeah, it's true, it's true. So what does he say? If you don't have time to go to the gym, do 5 push-ups. You don't have time to run, walk for 5 minutes, do 5 squats. So it's very, very important. Incorporate the tiny little changes in your world, right? Tiny little changes will dramatically change the world. Nobody wakes up great. Nobody wakes up great. Virat Kohli practiced for 10, 12 years before he became Virat Kohli. Michael Phelps, have you heard of Michael Phelps? So he exercised and he swam non-stop for 13 years before he won his first gold medal. And he said there were days I didn't feel like swimming. They swim 7-8 kilometers a day. He said, those are the days I showed up and those are the days that actually made it count. See, all of us are good till we are tired in this room. All of us are good till we are tired in the room. The great people stand up when they are tired. So that's something, grit. You talked about resilience, grit, tenacity. This is where it comes. We are so fortunate to be alive. I mean, in percentage terms, probably it'll be in a billion that the possibility of me being alive today, right? So make the most of it. Ikigai is really what will make the world a better place. Look at any performer, Elon Musk, Satya Nadella, Steve Jobs, they all had a strong sense of Ikigai. Steve Jobs didn't go to college. I hope you know his story, Steve Jobs. He dropped out of college at 17 because he said this is unaffordable for my adopted parents, and he used to drop into lectures that would interest him. And a very famous lecture was calligraphy. He entered that by mistake, and that's how the iPhone font is born. So please, chase greatness every day. So I want to ask you something. What is more important, the journey or the destination? What's more important? Journey? Okay, I have a different take on it. It's the company you keep. You keep great company, the journey is amazing, the destination is even better. If you hang out with 5 idiots, what do you become? You become the 6th idiot. If you hang out with 5 inspiring people, what do you become? You become better than all 5 because you're absorbing the best from all 5. So it's always choose. It's called, I think there's a famous saying, show me the 5 people you hang out the most with and I'll show you your future. One of my favorite affirmations, focus on you till the focus becomes you. That's the only way you become better. Every day, small actions, reading a book, journaling, being in a hard place, discomfort. How many of you believe choosing hard is good? Choosing hard is good. What happens when we choose hard? We get an easy life later. We choose easy now, we get a hard life later, right? So work on this. Naval Ravikant. Have you heard of Naval Ravikant? Please listen to his podcast. Amazing. So he says, make yourself a product because no one can replicate you. To all of you young children here, stop comparing yourself, social media, it doesn't work. There's a nice quote that I remember. Be impatient with your actions and be patient with your outcomes because outcome is not in your hand, but your actions are always there and every day, like she mentioned, like some of the speakers, every day maximize all the habits that make you better. Final thought, I think all of us, when we are in school, we are in a hurry to go to college and we are in a hurry to get a job. Then we are in a hurry to generate wealth. Then we are in a hurry for relationships. Then by the time we are old, we have some money, we have 0 relationships, and the most important one, we have 0 health. We live like we're never going to die, and we die like we never lived. So I like to say, live full and die empty. The top regrets of a dying person, I wish I had more time for myself. I had wished more time traveling. I wish I had spent time with my family and my friends. I wish I didn't see the balance sheet because I lost my partner. All right, so this is what I would like to say. I'd like to leave you with consistency beats intensity. Thank you very much.